What's going on, peoples? This is Manuel Godoy, the CEO of Black Sands Entertainment, and today I got a special occasion because my artist David is actually in the United States signing books this week. So I figured since he's here in the States and has a good connection in the States, I might I might as well bring him on live so we can actually talk to you guys about what's been going on in Black Sands, him introducing himself over the last 6.5 years, 7 years working with Black Sands, right? And just the creative journey of somebody who wasn't even a comic book artist before this all began to now one of the best in the game, right? So I'm pleased to introduce David, and feel free to tell him all about yourself and what to expect.
Okay, so my name is David Lenormand, French name. Pretty hard to say, I know. So yeah, I'm a comic artist. Well, let's say I'm an artist in general because I have a lot of other activities. And but yeah, now one of my main thing is working with Black Sands. So as a comic artist and art director on a lot of other stuff. So to talk about my CV, let's say. Actually, I used to be a comic artist before. I published one comic books in France, but I think it was like 12 years ago or something. And then I moved to China because I live and work in China. And I worked there as a freelance illustrator for quite a while. I worked there. And yeah, I think we met online, Manuel and I, or 2015 or 16, something like that. I don't remember
Yeah, on
exactly.
Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook. Yeah. He was looking for an artist. I was probably posting some things like, "Hey, give me some job." And yeah, we started working on this. I I already see a French comment.
Yeah, we got a bunch of French people who are down with Black Sands, so that's
Ouais, je
cool.
suis français. Salut à tous. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, so we started to get in touch together in 2016, and that's when you gave me this idea of a visual novel. That's how it started first.
The infamous visual novel,
Yeah,
correct?
the visual novel. We started working on that, but then if I remember, it was a little way too hard and a big budget to create this kind of thing. And then yeah, we came up with this idea saying, why don't we make a comic book? Because for comic books, you basically just need me because I can do the whole book by myself. And that's how we started the journey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
been pretty crazy. It's been pretty crazy the amount of stuff that we eventually did over the years.
mhm.
And at the beginning, right, we all didn't know too much. So I had never done a comic book in my life, right?
I
So
remember. Yeah.
I'm out here writing screenplays like it's a freaking a play or something like that, right? And he's only done one comic, right, so far, right? At that time,
Sorry.
like you only did one comic so far at that time, right? When
Yeah.
we first talking,
Yeah.
so he wasn't experienced in that. But one thing he was experienced in was like really expensive stuff for like AAA studios and stuff, man. So what are some of the projects that you've been working with over the last 10 years for like those big wig companies and stuff like that?
Okay. Yeah. Because yeah, besides the comic books, I'm also working for a company called Pure Arts. This company is making collectible statues based on video games and movie characters or comics characters, and we create yeah, those collectible statues, different kind of sizes anyway. And with this, I've worked for, yeah, so many stuff. Like I've done stuff about the Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Batman, Superman, The Witcher, League of Legends, uh, probably a lot more. Let me think.
Which one do you like
Cyberpunk.
the most? Which one do you like the most as far as like working with them? Which one did you felt was the best one?
My favorite was The Witcher, The Witcher 3. When I
Okay.
created this huge huge character because the statue is massive. It's like a half scale, so the whole statue is like well, I don't know how to say in inches, but it's like well, half of a human. That's easy. Yeah. So yeah, this one was my favorite because that's one character that I love, and I was very involved in that. I know my team over there really hated me during that project because I was super picky, but that's okay. The result is so great. I'm very really proud of it.
Well, one thing is the reason why, right now, David's not just an artist in Black Sands, but he's also the art director for the entire company. And one of those things that made me decide to make him a director was because of that pickiness. So throughout the years, we worked with like dozens and dozens of artists and animators and everything else, right? And the one thing I always relied on Hydriss on, right? And that's his nickname, by the way. But
Yeah.
the thing that I always relied on him on was to basically keep other artists in line, right? Because they always try to cut corners on people who don't really know about art that much, right? So they do things that he'll notice in a heartbeat, right? And actually like, put them back on the path, right? So that's always something I always loved, man. He said, what were some of the most awkward moments you found when working with people who were contracted into Black Sands? So you were like, what are y'all doing?
You mean what was the most awkward moment?
Yeah. Like when you were like, what the heck are y'all doing, man? Like,
Oh, there was quite a few actually.
I know.
Um, I'd say one of the most memorable one was when we were.
Wait a minute, no names, all right? So we're not gonna use names. We're
No,
just
no,
gonna
no,
talk.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. I will not say names. It's just when we were making those 3D characters for the animation we were planning to do.
Yeah.
Like this thing took forever to make, like really forever. And since I can do 3D myself, I can tell you that a couple of weeks is more than enough to make a character. And I think it took, I don't know, a month to make one. I forgot, but it was really super long. And every time we got, the updates, the couldn't really barely see the difference. So that was,
That pisses me off more than anything. No matter what it is, if I could barely see a difference, but it took you 2 or 3 weeks to give me an update,
yeah,
I almost want to immediately fire people on the spot. That's the most infuriating thing in the world to give me an update and I can't tell what the hell is different.
yeah, yeah. Me too, me too. And so there was this, and what else? Also, we had. Well, I don't know if I can talk about it, but like the latest animations we made, the
Oh
2D animation.
yeah, some of those things are pretty bad. We had to correct them over and over again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The thing is, for a professional team, I really expected something much higher quality than that. Uh, let's say the if you look at it from far away, you say, okay, could work. But if you really stick your nose on it, then there was a lot of issues there, and also they tried to yeah cut corners to
Yeah.
make it faster than it should be. Yeah, so that's a few examples.
That was just a whole crazy experience. So let's talk about the fact that why you even here in the first place, right? So you're here because you're signing the anniversary editions. A crazy idea we had about, I don't know what, 2 years ago. We had this crazy idea of doing hieroglyphs as the actual covers for our ultimates, and now they're finally here. We had ridiculous amount of books in the house, right? And you were signing books for days and days and days, and then you got sick. Right?
Right. I got the flu right now.
It messed up our flow right there, right? Because we were going at it. We were tearing through books like crazy, right? But the good thing is for a lot of people here who are patron members or Kickstarter backers and stuff like that. We probably shipped out close to half of all the orders so far. We have shipped out half of them, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe 75% are shipped out by Monday. So you guys should be starting to get your stuff. I saw some people on Instagram already tag me about receiving their stuff. So I assume they live in like New Jersey or something real close to where we are.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm happy about that because, like I said, you guys were persistent in letting me know that I didn't deliver these books yet. So we finally got it out to you guys, and it's cool, man. It's cool to be able to finally fulfill one of these massive projects. I don't think we ever did Kickstarter that was this ambitious. You know, like, this one was crazy. What was like 10 chapters we had promised in it? Like 10 new chapters? Because I think we were on chapter 6 when we started the Kickstarter, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe a little longer than that.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but I know we went through a ridiculous amount of chapters in that time period. You know?
Yeah, yeah. There was a lot of things to do, and yeah, hopefully we can finish all the signing tomorrow. Should be fine, I think.
Yeah, we got to, man.
I will. I will. Don't worry. I will finish it.
We got to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I want to kind of open this up because there's a reason why we're kind of like talking a little low. I am extremely fatigued this week. Hydriss is literally sick, so he's recovering, right? But obviously his voice is a little broken up every now and then because we're sick and coughing and stuff like that. So we're gonna keep this a little bit shorter than we normally do. We normally do like an hour and a half videos. Tonight we're gonna keep it down to 30 minutes. But as of right now, we are going to start questions. All right, because this is more of a introduction to Hydriss, the lead artist. Feel free to ask him any questions you have, any questions about the series, any questions about his work, any questions about any of that stuff. You can go in and shoot because he's a pretty cool guy. He has a lot of crazy stories. He has a lot of crazy stories about his work in the industry over the years, right? And how the heck he ended up in China. That's actually a really good story we can start off with while people are getting their questions ready.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
How the heck did a Frenchman end up in China?
Well, that's a pretty funny story. Actually, not really funny, but it was not planned at all. Actually, I remember it was in 2006, and back then I used to work I was working in a video game shop. That was my job back then. Couldn't find any art stuff in France. Strangely.
Really?
Yeah, it was really hard. So that's why I was thinking, okay, why not go somewhere else just to see how it is? And I had a couple of friends living in China, and I thought, okay, let's go there. I would just have a trip, maybe 3-4 months, and travel around the country and see what happens. And so I did it. Went to Shanghai first, and it happens that after a couple of weeks, I got a job offer in Shanghai. It's a funny story. It's a girl I met in a bar, and we were kind of flirting at first, and then she said she has a design company, and she gave me a job. So, so the flirting stopped immediately, and I worked there and I worked with her for a couple of years as a jewelry designer.
Oh, really? Jewelry?
Yeah, jewelry designer. So I was making those necklace, earrings. I've never done that before. But the good thing in China is that people there, they just let you try, even if you don't have any experience or degree or whatever. They say, okay, let's try for a month, and then if that doesn't work, okay, we change. So I did that for a couple of years, and I really enjoyed living there. And since I quit my job in France, I had no reason to go back. And after these 2 years, I started to get a little network in the how to say, the illustration field.
Illustration business, whatever, right?
Yeah, I got a couple of contracts with advertisement companies where I had to draw some kind of mascots for different brands. And So I worked as a freelancer like this for a few years, until we started working on Black Sands.
Okay, that's not even that much things that happened before Black Sands. It was like two or three things, huh?
Well,
In China.
well, yeah. I mean, the job was pretty rich actually. I did a lot of projects, a lot of
Okay.
projects. Like I've done
Okay.
stuff for M&Ms, for Skittles, for I even created some whole brands, Chinese brands that you obviously don't know here, but I've created a lot of stuff over there, and I became like the main illustrator for many of these brands. Every time they had a new packaging coming, they were calling me like, "Hey, we need a new stuff to do."
Go the
So,
Frenchman.
uh,
Is it called the Frenchman? So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's funny.
that
All
was
right.
pretty funny.
So let's see what they got to say. So prior to that, how long have you actually been in like the art game?
I think I started drawing when I was like 2 years old. As far as I remember, I was always drawing. I even remember my first drawing, actually. Yeah. So all my life, I've been drawing, and it was always my hobby. It was always my dream to become a comic artist. That was what I really wanted to do.
Hmm.
And yeah, I went to art school for 3 years, but didn't learn much in there. It was not great. I'm sorry. Yeah, so let's say 40 years of experience.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
40 years of experience. So I kind of want to circle back on that, right?
Mhm.
Uh, Here's a question that's kind of a follow up to the whole France thing. Why didn't they give you any opportunities in France?
Because France is, it's really hard actually if you want to get a job in the art industry, because that's what I said. They will just ask you, do you have any experience or do you have any degree?
Yeah,
Did you
they
study
don't
in
give
that?
you an entry.
Yes,
They just hate entry unless you know somebody or you're some kind of family member.
exactly. Exactly. That's really, really hard. And when you just finished art school and then they ask you, do you have any, you need at least 5 years experience to do the jobs. And, yeah, but I have to
Yeah,
start
I get it.
somewhere.
I get it now. So it's like it's still got an aristocracies over there, huh? It's like
Yeah.
the aristocrats. If you're not one of us, then you can't get these prestigious jobs, right? It's like
You can't. And what I hate with that also is that they don't care what is the quality of your job. They don't care what you can do. They just care about which school did you study. If
oh,
I had to hire an artist, I don't care which school he went to. Just show me what you can do now. If it's great, then fine. You know?
that's kind of like the tech industry nowadays, man. They always want people from MIT
Yeah.
or Harvard, and that's it. You know.
For some jobs, it's understandable, but for art, well, pointless, I think.
What was the longest project you did before Black Sands?
The longest project I did before Black Sands. I did work on a phone app. It was like a coloring app. Actually, I don't even know if the thing was released or not in the end. But I had a lot of illustrations to do with different types of colors. Um, don't even remember the name. I don't think it was released anyway. This project was a nightmare. It was really a nightmare because the people I was working with, they were asking changes all the time, like
Oh,
all the time, and for
revisionist,
stupid
like
things.
never happy with anything.
Yeah, yeah, and for really stupid things. It's so.
I remember when we first started working together, you were working on the dragons.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Those dragons, you remember that?
Yeah, you
I
said
was.
that. Was that a good job? Or I think they were paying astronomical numbers per
Yeah,
dragon,
yeah. It
right?
was pretty good. Actually, it was the first job I did for my current company in China.
Okay.
That's the first thing they asked me to do, like a series of 12 or 16 dragons. I forgot. I had to design each one with a different style, like ice dragon, fire, wood. That was pretty fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you're like, yeah, it takes me like I forgot it was long as hell how long it took you to do one dragon. There was so much damn detail you had to put into a dragon.
Mm.
You know?
Oh yeah, because they also asked me to do two dragons, like extremely detailed. Like that was probably one of the most detailed picture I've ever drawn. And yeah, these were really really long.
Let's see. Hydra, what made you fall in love with Black Sands, and what made you passionate about it? Who are your favorite characters in the series, and why?
Uh-huh. Um, okay, so I really enjoyed the whole story. Actually, that's basically the quality of the story that made me like the project. Because I've been contacted by a lot of people who wanted to give me some projects, and if the story doesn't work or I'm not really into it, so yeah, I felt it was a very cool. It always gave me this kind of Naruto vibe with Black Sands, that, and I thought, okay, that's something that could really really do a great story with great panels, great comics. So yeah, that's just it. Like just a great story. And who are my favorite characters? I'd say my favorite characters. I quite like Ra. He's like the ultimate badass. Like, doesn't give a fuck about anything. I mean,
People don't understand, man. Us older cats, we can relate to Raw, man. Like no nonsense, right? Let's handle business immediately,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Maybe because it's due to the age. I don't know. But if we talk about the kids, I like Seth. Actually, I think
Okay.
Seth is very interesting. Very very interesting. Like he has a. I don't know the full story yet, guys. I can tell you, I don't know the ending of the story, but I can feel that he's can be a pretty edgy and change his character somehow. So yeah, I like him.
Okay.
Yeah,
So when it comes to the adults, Raw. When it comes to the kids, Seth.
yeah. Oh, I have to say also, I really like Andocles.
Oh yeah, Endocles.
He's a
Endocles,
very
Endocles is an interesting character in general because at the end of the day, he's a hero.
yeah.
Just saying your hero, but he's a hero.
Yeah, that's what I like about him, because he's fighting our characters, but he's somehow not a bad guy. And he has a reason to do what he does, and that's what I like in stories. Like not pure good guy, pure bad guys. A bit in the middle. That's the
That's
best thing.
that's kind of thing that I always took when I was writing stories in general is that the bad guys are heroes.
Mm,
They're just not your hero, but
yeah,
they are heroes. They're to them, to their people, they're rock stars. They're people that want to follow them. You know, and Endocles is definitely one of those guys. He's been through a lot.
mhm,
He's been through a lot, and he's gonna protect his people and protect the whole world. Only
yeah,
problem is if people ain't gonna help do that, then they need to, either work the fields, right, so that real warriors can go out to fight, or they have to be destroyed because they're fighting against the war that they're waging against the ancients.
yeah,
And that's a cold stance, but nobody else is dying, right? It's like that's the big problem. Everybody else is basically far away from the ancients, so they don't really have that day to day horror that all of Greece has had to deal with.
you're right. Yeah,
So, they just can't relate to what the Spartans are saying. Spartans are saying the gods must die. Period. Is everybody else like, oh, they can't be that bad? The fuck they ain't. We the last ones left. Yeah, so he's a cool character. I like him a lot.
yeah.
See, oh, somebody made a joke. So they said, Hydriss, do you and Manny have muscles in your hands from all that signing yet? I
Yeah,
chronically.
I'm used to work with my hands all the time, so signing is not a problem. It's more like my health condition that really slowed me down these last 2 days.
One thing for me, because I was kind of like, I have 100 jobs here, right? So I'm not just, I can't just sign. I have to also print all the orders, move the orders from one side of the house to the next, unpack everything. So eventually I just get overwhelmed, right? And I think today I probably moved at least 4,000 pounds of books all around the house. Just kept grabbing 45 at a time, 45 at a time, nonstop, 45, 45. Hardcover books are fucking heavy, you know.
Yeah.
You just carrying 3 packages that's 45 pounds, and you take it's like, you know what I mean? So,
You're a strong guy.
yeah, I was so happy that I've been working out for the last like 5 months because I was like, I could imagine if I was like, if I ain't never go to the gym and and this is my job, I probably would have just been like, I quit, I'm done. Let's see, Hydriss, do you have a favorite game, movie, TV show that you draw sometimes?
Ah,
What
um,
fan art the most?
I don't do much fan art. Well, actually, yes, because when I make statues from of games and movies, it's kind of fan art. So my favorite game ever, I've always said that, is The Witcher 3. I really love this game. Uh, Actually, wait, I think maybe I can show you the picture of the character I've done. I don't know if you can see, but that's the kind of statue I create. I don't think it's very clear though. No,
That's a statue.
that's a statue. Yeah.
Looks like a goddamn screenshot.
Well, yeah. This. Well, I don't. Let me see if I have the.
And that's the one that you talk about that's like 4 feet tall, or
Right.
or
Yes.
like a
Yeah.
half a person tall.
Exactly. Yeah. This one is really really massive,
How much does
and
it cost?
the whole statue now is $3,500.
It's
It
not
looks.
bad though, man. I mean, a detailed statue like that big. I don't know, man.
It looks like this. It's phenomenal. So I really love making this project. And about movies and TV shows, well, that's a hard question. That's a hard question. I used to draw a lot of Dragon Ball things because I grew up with that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know it arrived a bit later in the US, but for me in the 80s, we already had it. So I basically learned to draw with Dragon Ball, and I think when I was a teenager, I've done hundreds of drawings of him of those characters. So that will always have a particular place in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a good question. What kind of art style do you like the most, and why? So I'm gonna give you 3 options, and you choose. Okay.
Okay.
Realistic, right, or hyper realistic, in other words. 3D or 2D.
Mm, I have to say now I really enjoy making 3D.
Okay.
I think it's because actually 3D you can achieve a very realistic look pretty easily.
But that's hyper realistic then. So that's not really three. It's like there's so much
Yeah,
detail at that point.
I know that's the two options you gave. I mean, the options you gave me, two of them are connected somehow.
Okay.
But 2D style also is pretty nice. Like I like the style we do for Black Sands because it's quite simple, which means you can make yeah panels quite fast, like really make a lot of drawings in a short amount of time, relatively short. Because when we started working together, the drawings were much more detailed, much more realistic, and that wouldn't work for a comic book format, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it take 10,000 years.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's see. Oh, here's an interesting question.
Mhm.
What was the most pages you have ever done in a day?
In a day, I think probably did 4 pages in a day once. But yeah, but this happens only with pretty simple pages. Like if there's like, for example, a full page with one drawing and pretty big stuff.
Nowadays, I cut back on how much you did just to make sure that you can knock them out fast, right? I was like, you're just gonna do pencils from now on, right? Because like you're kind of more of, and I think what people don't understand about what great comic book artists is that a lot of them are just directors, right? They're directors. They're basically doing the director's job because you know all I gotta do is give you a script and you see the script, right? You see the scenes, the placements, locations, and everything else. And I think at most I might have one or two corrections over the course of a couple of chapters. Like I barely have to actually like you know move stuff around and get the proper placements and stuff like that because you kind of like get the idea of where I'm going with the writing. And I think a lot of people miss that point. And whenever you have people who can do that, who can kind of visualize what you're making just from a script, right? With little direction, those people can't be tied down doing the stuff that everyone can do, right? There's a lot of people who can do inking, coloring, whatever, right? They might not be as good as you, but they're good enough to make your life a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So freeing you up to doing pages as fast as you can, right? Without any distractions, that's better for everybody involved, right? Because we could tell stories a lot faster. If we were still working the same way we were working back in 2018, right? We'd be on like chapter 8 now.
Yeah. No, it's fun, but yeah, of course, it would take way too long. Way too long.
I
Yeah.
remember, I remember when you gave me that funny story about I said, Hydriss, is there any way we can like speed up the pages? It takes like 3 or 4 days per page. He was like, oh, let me try something. So he said, try something. And then he said, well, what do you he said, how about this? And then he did it like a day and a half. And I was like, great, but what did you do? He said, oh yeah, it's I changed the shadows and stuff like that. And I'm like,
You didn't see it.
I looked exactly the same. Like no, this is way this is way simpler now, way faster. And I don't know what the hell he's talking about because this is the problem with great artists. They do stuff that none of us, 99% of us, will never see, never understand. We can't even process what the hell they're talking about. But it matters to them, like big time. Like this is the throwaway image. I remember he used to do that all the time. He used to send concepts that were better than people's finished work. And it was like his throwaway stuff. It was like something that he just threw, like he just did in 30 minutes. Like, oh yeah, it's just a sketch of the character. And it was literally better than most people than what the actual final person gave as their finished work. You know, I used to crack up about that because Hydriss would be like, I don't understand. Like, why this? What is this right here? You know, I'm like, what? It looks just like yours. He's like, yeah, but I didn't even, I just made that up. Like, he's like, I wasn't. It doesn't even have a shadow layer. And I'm like, oh yeah, it doesn't have a shadow layer. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
We've had so many funny conversations behind the scenes, behind people's backs. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man. And some of these people are artists here. Let me see. So let's see.
Just a second.
I'm pretty sure it's Ribault. You know, I'm pretty sure it's the MC when it comes to The Witcher. Not sure though. Okay, so Carlito says, Hydriss, discovered your work from your Emily Wants to Play fan art. He said, I wanted to ask this. What character from the game was your favorite to draw? So what's Emily Wants to Play fan art? What's that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know who is asking this question. Actually, she follows me on many. Yeah, so I did. Yeah, Emily Wants to Play is a video game. I have been contacted by the creators of the game to make some. I think they wanted to make T-shirts or something. So they wanted me to draw their main characters. There was, I forgot, 5 or 6 main characters to do.
Yeah.
And my favorite one was Probably I forgot the name, but probably the clown. The clown was pretty cool to do.
The cloud. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna change this question. So it says, "What was your favorite Black Sands character to draw?" I'm gonna change that question. What was
Okay.
your favorite scene to draw in the Black Sands verse?
Hmm. My favorite scene to draw. Mm, well, we discussed about it like a couple of days ago. I really enjoyed the beginning, the fight between Osar and Bess. That was pretty nice to make because there was a lot of choreography and fighting moves. This one was quite nice. And which one I was? Did I mention the flashback we did recently also with Ra and Osar fighting a monster in a volcano?
Yeah,
This one also was really cool. Like, th-
that was an epic scene. That
yeah,
was an epic scene right there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so those two ones that it was like his coolest scenes. Uh, I don't think artists really care about drawing characters too much. Uh, I think it's like the story is the story. Like they like the story in general. Like
well, it depends. There are characters that I like to draw and some characters that I don't like to draw. Like for example, for me,
don't you like to draw? That's what I want to know.
uh,
Which characters do you not like to draw in the Black Sands verse?
um, well, Osset is pretty annoying to draw
Oh,
because
really?
she has all her hair. She has a lot of details, much more than the other. So sometimes, especially when she's using her power with the hair floating around, this is really pretty annoying to do. No, but the things I hate the most is those like army fights, like when there's like 10 soldiers fighting 10 soldiers on one panel. That takes forever. That really takes forever. So this kind of page, I can't do four in a day for sure.
Yeah, I remember we kept trying to like figure out ways to lower the amount of people in any given scene.
Mm.
Like you would take like certain overhead shots or narrow alleyways, any way to like make it where it was like there weren't that many people on the
Um,
actual like shot.
uh, if you want me to tell you the chapter I hated the most was probably the one when the Spartans attacked Minoa.
Yeah.
Oh, this one was like always. You have 20 characters on each page to draw. So long, so
but,
long.
but to me, it had the coolest like scene
Yeah.
in the comic when Seth used his abilities in that you said on the street and like blind and like basically made the freaking Spartans and the Minoans die, right? But it
Yeah,
was like
this scene is cool. Yeah, definitely.
a cool ass scene. It's probably one of the coolest looking like moments. Like in fact, if we hit that in the anime, it's gonna bang. Like if we hit that exact darkness,
Mm,
right, where Seth was just pissed.
yeah. No, for sure, this kind of scene is definitely necessary. Even those epic battles with lots of soldiers is just long to make.
Well, hopefully we use some programming to make it a lot easier when it comes to those bigger battles where you have those more choreographed characters, right? Don't need that much detail. So hopefully we get that done.
I don't want to do that.
Homer says, is it drawn by hand? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hydriss is a traditional artist, extremely traditional. So I think he just uses Photoshop and that's it. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
I do it on a computer. Yeah, but it's drawn with a pen for sure.
Giselle said she loves what you did for Maury's Family Adventures.
Yeah. Thank
How
you.
important how important is planning a page? This guy does storyboards all the time. In fact, he did storyboards not just for Black Sands, but also for all the animations that we have ever done. Right? He's done all of the trailers that we've ever done. Like it's like those monotone trailers that you see,
Mhm.
right? That was all done by Hydriss as well. So he likes planning. That's definitely something. He's not an under planner when it comes to creating anything new.
No, planning a page is actually extremely important. Extremely important. Like, because when you create a comic book page, you have to organize the panels to kind of lead the eye from a panel to another in with the drawing, with the movement. So it is very, very, very important, and I pay a lot of attention to this as much
In,
as I can. So
in fact, if you guys don't know, I think one of the first things he does is letter everything, which is completely different from almost everybody else. Like usually lettering is the last step. And that's when you're actually putting the words on there for what everybody's saying and what they're doing, right? But he does that like right at the beginning of the process, so he knows exactly where the story is going, I guess, right? And what people are saying, and therefore he can kind of match the energy, I guess, that they're speaking of in scene immediately, right? So you don't want to ever have somebody say something and it don't match up with what you drew,
yeah,
right?
no, 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 you have to do it like, and you also need to take in consideration where will you place the text on the page, on the panel. So yeah, it's a pretty complicated process, but I like this part actually. It's quite fun.
All right, hey, we're about to end this now. Just because we still trying to recover. We still trying to recover so we can get these books out to you guys. But it was a great conversation. We have a lot of awesome questions with Hydriss. He'll be here for a couple more days. We'll try to wrap everything up for you guys. Remember, he's signing all your books, anniversary editions. So if you did order anniversary editions, like I said, it'll eventually come to you. Just to let you guys know, for anybody who didn't get anniversary editions yet or didn't get a shipping confirmation yet, you will get one over the next 2 weeks. We're not going to be here next week. So because we're not going to be here next week, shipping will just basically stop for like a week. But we'll get back into it as soon as possible. And hopefully everybody's stuff should be on a plane or in a ride or something going to your house before the end of the month. All right, so that's everybody. All right, so thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks, Hydriss, for hopping on, even though you're under the weather. You
Yeah,
know,
thank you a lot. Thanks to everybody here, and thanks for the questions.
yep. And we'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
All right, bye.